What's going on, y'all? Welcome back with Get Your Mind Right with Yogi and Shamar. Episode 3. As always, we appreciate you stopping by just to check us out for a few minutes. Hope everyone had a good holiday season. I know it's Thanksgiving for those that do celebrate. Hope you had time to spend with your family and your friends, and sometimes you don't have the opportunity just to disconnect and then be able to reconnect. How was your holiday season, Ms. Yogi?
My holiday season was good. In my house, we just call it Family Day. So my penny was off the hook that the turkey hit, and my banana pudding always on top.
We ain't gonna talk about the banana pudding, but the banana pudding.
Yeah, we ain't. We're gonna talk about that. It get people in trouble, man.
Yeah. But thanks for asking about my holiday.
Oh, my bad. How was your holiday?
Whatever. Nah, it was all good. We had family time. Ate a lot. Ate so much I had to go to the gym the next day, the day before. I try to outrun my fork, but that don't really tend to work that much. Spent the weekend. My family, in-laws played some spades. Kick some butt in that. But back to work and back to the grind. So we know the holiday season is here. We're in the middle of it, right? And usually, what happens at the end of the year, right? What do people start to do towards this time of the year?
Making them New Year's resolutions.
Yep, them promises that last for about how long?
Getting them gym memberships to die out.
Getting them black sale deals, right? You go to the gym, get there for the first month, it's crowded, first 2 months, and then by March and April, it's like, yeah. And I'll be honest, I can relate. I remember I started a New Year's resolution January 1st. By January 2nd, I'm like, damn, try again next year. And it happens, But and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit, about just being able to look back on the year and not necessarily about New Year's resolutions, but making changes, right? You don't necessarily have to wait for a new year to happen in order for you to make the changes that you can make today. And oftentimes we make promises to ourselves with good intentions, but the follow through is a challenge, right? It's about being consistent. It's about, okay, what worked for me this year? What do I want to do differently, right? Because if you want different results, you got to do things differently, right? What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting different results.
And reality is that's not how life works. So when you're out there, when you're sitting down making these New Year's promises, New Year's resolutions, and like I said, you don't have to wait until December 31st. You can start now, but start looking in the mirror and say, you know what, how can I improve myself? What are some things that you want to do differently? And I know, Yogi, you don't necessarily make New Year's resolutions, right? So what is it that you do for yourself?
I truly believe that old keys don't unlock new doors. So in my perspective, as I just sit down and I reflect on what I want to expand on, or what I want to do better, or what I want to do different, and then I just make sure that I apply myself to make those changes. To me, it's not necessarily a resolution. To me, it's making a change that I want to make to better myself as an individual. And I think that when I better myself, I think I'm better for the people around me, and I think that helps the team all together. So for me, it's just really being able to check in with yourself, and see what it is that you want to improve, what you want to make better, what changes you want to make, and begin to do that. And most importantly, I never feel like, I messed up, so I got to start all over again. I now reflect that to a diet, right? If you're on a diet, you're doing good for 10 days, and then on day 11, you take down a box of donuts or something. It was just that day. It doesn't mean that the diet goes out the window. It just means that when you wake up the next day, you just got to get back on track, right? I think we get so caught up in falling off the track that we stay off the track and feel like we got to wait for another great event to start over. And it doesn't. There's bumps in the road, and you have to embrace those too.
And I'm glad you brought up the point of dieting, right? Dieting is temporary. Because trust me, I'm the king of dieting because it doesn't work really for me. And it's not about dieting. It's about just changing your lifestyle, being mindful of your intake, right? I love food. You can tell I love food. This camera shows that I love food. But
don't be so hard on yourself.
No, that's right. This camera's pretty hard on me. But,
okay.
The reality is, though, it's all about a mindset. If you want to change, you got to be proactive in that change. You can't just say, you know what, I want to lose this weight. It's not working out. Whatever, I give up. I want a new job. So I'm just going to complain about my new job. I'm going to complain about the job I have, but do nothing about it to better myself or put myself in a different position. This relationship I'm in, I'm not happy, but you know what? I know this person, so why switch it up? These are all the things. It's that negative self-talk. And that negative self-talk, you put that out there, it will come to fruition. So in all reality is that if you want that change, you have to be the change that you want to see. And sometimes we gotta get out of our own way. Will you fail sometimes? Absolutely. I remember growing up, they say you either win or you lose, and someone taught me this a while ago. It's like, no, you win or you learn. So from every opportunity, from every encounter where you feel that you fail in, it's a learning opportunity. And that's something that you need to, and we need to, not saying you, but we all need to be able to say, you know what, how can I do it better? How can I do it differently? Because sometimes we are our harshest critic. We get on ourselves, we criticize ourselves. We say, oh, I shouldn't have did that. It's all right though. You're still in the game, because what happens is you get to a point in life where it's like I could have, I should have, I would have, but you didn't. And that's living with regret. So what does regret get you? It gets you nowhere. So as the new year is approaching, like I said, reflect on the things that worked for you. Reflect on where you want to change, but also reflect on your accomplishments, right? It's okay to be proud of what you've accomplished. Some people may not, there's no big deal, but you know what? It was okay. It was for you. For some people, an accomplishment is just getting out of bed in the morning, facing the reality, facing the world. And sometimes we need help with that, right? And it's okay not to be okay, as we all know. It's okay to check in with someone else if you need that help, if you need that little motivation, if you need that support. Some people have it intrinsically inside of them that where they can self-motivate. Some of us need a little push, and that's nothing wrong with that. So, I know back in the days, we often talk about toxic traits and things, right? And, back in the day, if a kid says, oh, I'm depressed, and, sometimes the parents are like, what you depressed about? It's nothing to be depressed about. No, that's false. People struggle in different ways. People go through different struggles. So if you're in that situation, as you're entering this new year and you want to do something about it, take that first step and say, you know what, how can I get the help? Mm-hmm. Now, don't tell everybody your business, because everybody don't need to be part of your business or in your business, but find the help that you need for yourself, because, we're through, people say, new year, new me.
Right.
I'm cutting off all, if I don't return your phone call,
you've been cut off.
Yeah, you're one of the changes I made for this new year. Mm-hmm. I already see the posts already. I see the memes. I see it, right? And a lot of times, the changes that we make, it don't necessarily have to be with other people. It have to be with ourselves. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do.
You can't cut yourself off.
Yeah, you can't cut yourself off. You can try, right? But looking in the mirror and saying, what do I need to improve? What do I need to do differently? And that's a hard conversation to have, because it's when you have to be real with yourself. We can highlight 1,000 things we do well. But when it's time to point out our blind spots, we're not as open, not as transparent to making changes. Like, we both come with flaws, right? And it's working on it. See, I knew she was going to be like, no, she don't come with flaws. She comes with some flaws. But we all come with flaws, right? We all come with different things that we need to focus on. And in life, it's about, how can I better myself? I met with a student a couple of years ago, and I remember him saying to me that, I have a family member that they know it all. They have all the answers, and it's annoying. Don't like speaking to them. Don't like engaging with them, because anything you say to them, they want to challenge it. You just know people that no matter what you say to them, they got to find something opposite just to prove you wrong. It's like the sky's blue. No, it's not blue. It's blue. No, why is it
blue and white?
Yeah, it's blue and white, right? So don't that's energy that you don't want to be part of, right? And that's where it's very important that you're mindful of who's in your circle. Ms. Jorgen, let me ask you this: what makes up a good, healthy circle for you?
I gotta trust my circle. What makes a healthy circle for me, Jay-Z says in the song, right? There's there's less of us, but the quality is better, right? So I always said I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. So I keep my circle small, and I do that because I think it allows us to maintain our communication. We can agree to disagree, but I think the best thing about my circle is the fact that we respect one another. I think we challenge each other at the same time, And I think that we support each other, and I think that ultimately the circle relies on that. I think that's the heaviest thing. And the next thing for me would be like, we do understand that things don't happen overnight. So, sometimes you put in all this work and you feel like you don't see the return quickly, and we're so accustomed to everything just coming back. You put the quarter in the meter, you get your minutes. You put your quarter in the little machine, pop, you get your little prize. And life is not set up like that. Sometimes things take time. You're gonna hit some bumps in the road. You're gonna get redirected sometimes. And an example that I gave a kid just the other day, right? He was kind of being rigid on change, and because he felt like he would be looked as a quitter or like he couldn't do it. And the example was, if you're sitting in traffic and the GPS is telling you this is a quicker way, do you stay in traffic or do you take the quicker way? And if you leave traffic, does that make you a quitter, right? And I thought that analogy was very interesting when we discussed it, because he's like, no, I will go the other way. And I'm like, well, there's another path for you. So it's important sometimes to be able to think about that and sit back and understand what's not working, what's working, and what do you want to do to push that forward. And not to get off topic, but while you were talking, I was talking to a young person in Florida a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about this individual's artwork and so on, and that individual looked at me and said, I look at people and they're so much far ahead than I am. And I looked at this young person and said, right, you're absolutely right. There's a whole bunch of people that are past your level. And the young person looked at me like, well, and I said, but you're working to get there. So why are you looking at where they're at? You need to focus at where you're at and what you got to do to get to that place. So sometimes we get delusionized or we get off track because we look at how everybody else is moving. And if it's not working the same way for us, we'll retract and leave that alone. And you got to keep at it. So equivalently to the circle, right? It doesn't always work. We don't always agree, but we stay at it till we figure out the solution, and that's what pushes us ahead.
And to your point, the only person you should compete against is yourself.
Absolutely.
Because you're your only competition. And people in your circle should be pushing you. People in your circle should be elevating you. But at the same time, as those people are supposed to be pushing you and elevating you, you got to make sure that you're the person giving that same energy as well, 100%. Right? You can't expect that from someone else, but you're not giving that in return. 100%. So that's also an important piece too, because oftentimes we say, well, this person's not doing that, this person's not doing that. What are you doing?
Carry your weight. You got to carry your weight.
Yeah, you can't expect from others to carry weight and bring things to the table, but you sitting there just waiting to receive it. So, as we embark on 2024, right? I'm about to say 2023. I want to go backwards. As we embark on forward, because the only time you should look back is to see how far you came from. So, in 2024, as you're making these changes, whatever may be life-changing situations, relationship decisions, employment decisions, decisions about yourself, decisions about your kids, your friends, all these decisions, because there's a lot of decisions that we're making, right? And this new calendar year is upon us. Just think about, what do you bring to the table? Where do you stand in that decision, right? Because at the end of the day, it has to be reciprocal. If you want somebody to bring 100%, you can't bring 20% to that situation. So, it's a great time to start reflecting, and it's okay to have to reflect by yourself, because sometimes you have to remove yourself from the noise and you have to sit in the silence, because sitting in the silence is where we're allowed to think without judgment, without distractions, And like I said, as the holiday season is here, here at Teens Under Construction, we also do a lot of work within the community, right? We try to lessen the burden on the people that we serve, the people that we impact. As social workers, we love this work that we do. We love going to do programs throughout New York State. We love doing this episode with you on a monthly basis. We just love connecting and helping people. We just, for Thanksgiving, we was out in the community, giving out dinners in the community.
150 dinners, hot meals.
Hot meals. I don't know if y'all saw us on Instagram, Facebook, or social media, or it's one of those platforms, but we was out there giving out to the community because that's what we love doing. And now, as December is coming, we are offering the opportunity for people within the community to get gifts and to get prizes. So we're hoping that we take in kind donations through our website. You can check us out at TUC. Teens Under Construction, if there's a way that you would love to donate either a brand new gift, right? What else can they do?
We have Amazon wish list, so we have some toys on there that work for youths of all ages. So if you want to check our Instagram out, and maybe send some gifts our way, we would greatly appreciate it. We hold the event right in our space. We have the Grinch come out and hang out with us. The Santa comes out and hang out with us.
Right.
Miss Santa hangs out with us. The Grinch's elf hangs out with us.
Everybody.
So it's a good time, and it's just a way for us to spread the love and make sure that we help everybody, and we spread that love out to everyone.
Right. Now, once again, our time is now up, so we definitely appreciate you for spending a few moments with us. And, as the new year's approaching, remember, get your mind right.
Get your mind right. Hit close first. Yeah. There you go. Now hit the red button.